Alito. It's my beautiful copper color
people.
Found here by who?
The Caucasians.
You already know. How's it going, peeps?
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to y'all, the real ones, the achievers, the believers, making it happen. We're gonna go through some some literature. You know, I know some of the brothers and sisters probably done touched on it. I really don't watch a lot of the videos no more, as y'all can see. Some of them I do. I still look at Cootie Mayo's videos. Brother, like, be bringing out some major findings. And then, you know, I've been starting to dig, and me and my son, we found a few books at you know, they got a lot of these Memorial Day sales and stuff at these one of them was half price books, and the other one was Barnes and Noble. But we got this one. We're gonna be reading some stuff out of there today. And we got this one. So we're gonna be going over some facts, findings, tying in everything, you know, wake our people up, especially our family members. We do this for a lot of our family, y'all too, but a lot of this stuff I do for my family, so they can go on and they can see without a shadow of doubt what's going on. Some of them ain't, you know, most of them ain't gonna believe it, even though they know from, you know, oral tradition and everything who we are, but a lot of them still just stuck in the mental Professor Xavier game that's been played on them. So, and they can't separate from other people's history. When they telling you their history is their history. When they telling you this started from this year, that's their year. They're the newcomers. So when you guys pay attention, everything that's new in modern day is shaky foundation. When you go back, that's why I like the further we go back, the further it proves who we are. And the more distant everybody starts getting lost. See, when they start going backwards and going in further back in history, they start to disappear. And we start to appear. So we're going to go through this, what is it?
Native American contributions.
Okay, go ahead and read.
Did you know that Native Americans have contributed many things to the American way of life today? Things you use or do now, many Native Americans have been using and doing for many years.
So on that note, just off the Native American contributions, we're going to scratch that off. We're going to remove that Native American and we're going to go to the American Indians, the so-called African Americans, so-called blacks, so-called colors, all these names you guys have been given, all these names that we've all been given. Because when we go into, these guys are supposed to be contributors, and they're not doing that. But we find with the American Indians, inventors and inventions, they've been doing this since the beginning. And what you have to ask yourself is, why wasn't Africa doing this? If Africa's the land of the great, why hasn't Africa invented anything that contributes to the world? We have what it says, the contributions of the so-called African Americans, so-called blacks, says black history, inventions that have changed the world. Where's the African inventions that have changed the world that we're still doing?
Nowhere to be found.
Nowhere to be found. You have to understand, y'all, to be the old people, you have to already have rhythm. It's the difference between a 6-month-old baby walking and a 4-year-old walking. You're already going to know the 4-year-old is going to be more advanced and more accurate and more attentive to things and have a rhythm. It's the same thing with us. That's why we create dance, music, entertainment, sports, everything. That comes with being around forever. And that's our culture. And it influences everybody. Everybody gravitates to it. Hands down. There's nothing. I asked a Nigerian guy at work. Me and a Nigerian guy had some, I don't know where, it's weird that they came in. They're starting to like come into certain areas and stuff, but the dude thought he was more advanced and everything because he's talking about he had all these degrees and all this stuff, right? And I started breaking down all this stuff about us. And that's what caused the whole confusion. He started getting mad. And I was like, I want you to show me like all the music he was listening to was our music. And I'm like, give me something that the West Africans and stuff, give me some music that y'all, you know, moving to and grooving to and, you know, that everybody's feeling. And he couldn't. And he got upset. And that's when he got talking about, oh, I got all these degrees and this and that. I went to Dubai and this and that. And I'm like, you got all these degrees, but you're up under me. You come to the Americas and you're up under me. I'm making twice than what you're making, double than what you're making. And I'm light years ahead of you in knowledge. All them degrees and stuff you got from the colonizers. Then he went on to his DNA and stuff, talking about, well, I have some Britain in me. So I started showing him, okay, because he thinking that the Britons, the colonizers, is the Caucasians that he got in them. I said, did you ever look at the so-called black monarchy and everything that ruled England and all those other places? And he just got mad with that. And I'm like, man, there's so-called black people everywhere, man. You've been colonized and you thinking that everybody that come out of there. We don't come up out of y'all. Australians, nobody come up out of y'all. Hawaiians, none of the original people, the Fijians, none of them people come up out of y'all. So stop trying to take our glory. They want to take the inventions and everything and all that stuff and oh yeah, and categories now, the younger generation. The older ones already knew and they didn't deal with us. The younger ones is trying to get caught up with us and they liking our dance, but they can't dance like us. They trying to. The dude be having everybody laughing at work. When he try to dance to the music and stuff, he's just so stiff. He just like, and they just be laughing. The people be laughing. I'm talking about Caucasians and Hispanics and everything, just laughing like, look at this guy. Like they know they can't move like us, but they trying. And some of them are getting to it, but we're the foundation. You got to remember that we're the foundation. Just like these rocks right here. You see how they tell you all this stuff at the top right there? All that stuff is garbage. You go and watch Brian Forrester and L.A. Marzulli. I got the video in there. I'm going to show you guys a little snippet of it. But this is the greatness. It's like us. Foundation. So when we get into all this stuff, right? We get into that. We done created cell phone, car phone, blood plasma, baby buggy, the almanac, corn harvester. You all know corn is indigenous to America. Maize, you already know that. So elevator, electric lamp, you already know we created the engines. They're finding all this stuff in Guatemala, roads and stuff like that. Ice cream, the guitar. We already know anything to do with music, hands down, is us. You know, that's just pure. That's like I was just telling you everything because we're the ancient ones. And America is the ancient place. So you guys gotta get off of this Professor Xavier mind control that you're under. And start to look at everything around you. We created the imaging x-ray, lawnmower, mailbox, mop. Of course, we're going to create the mop. We always clean, and we showed the Caucasians how to be clean and all that stuff. And traffic light, straightening comb, peanut butter, fire extinguisher, gas mask. Like, hold on, but they telling you these people were enslaved. And right here, I got some. Send one of my. Oh, it says that the so-called African American community under slavery rule was denied the right to education. Was denied the right to education. All the while they're creating and making all this technology that changed the world. How is this possible? You guys still ain't woke yet? You still don't understand that? The stories that they keep giving you and then they go back, forth, but the evidence keeps showing you. Just like what we were talking about before with that one, that post, or it was a written lecture, but it was saying that it was over in, I think, South America or Central America, but it says that other people's history is written in books. Our history is written in stone, in rocks, caves, Negro Head Mountain, Negro Bill Canyon, all the Mayan stuff you see on the walls, everywhere you see the artifacts, the dreadlocks found on mummies. You know, the dreadlocks found on mummies. Then we got this, dreadlocks in the Mayans and stuff like that. You know, so these hands down, y'all should already know who the people are, the ancient people. We haven't changed. So go ahead. We're gonna go tit for tat. You're gonna do something on the Native American, so-called Native Americans, which is really the American Indians, which is AKA so-called African Americans, coloreds, Negroes, blacks, Afro Americans, all these names that you guys been given. Go ahead.
Many times, the only thing people remember about the Native Americans are the negative things, but they contributed many positive things and should be remembered for them.
Okay. They should be remembered for them, but people remember all the negative of us, so-called Native Americans, the American Indians. That's you, so-called African Americans. That's you. Everybody remembers all the negative, and you guys get all the negative images on TV, everything. Bill Cosby helped out and tried to change the ways and wanted to continue, but you guys wanted the empire lifestyle, so you get treated like the empire lifestyle. If you're not hoes and prostitutes and gangsters and thugs and macs and drug pushers and everything that's contrary to nature, then that's what you get. You get shot down, treated like animals, beaten, and all these things. So it's time to wake up, start to do what you're supposed to be doing, because there's many of these contributions that are not recognized that are positive. But they're recognized because people are using them every day. Cell phone, electronics, all this stuff. And it wasn't given to you by Native Americans. I love y'all, my Native American brothers and sisters, but y'all know y'all ain't contributed none of this. When you look at them African Americans, so-called, they supply the world with everything. Now you got everybody rapping like us. They want to talk trap and all this other negative stuff and everything else, and pushing this and that and doing this and that, and the words that we use. Back in the day, we used to say, man, bust a cap in that fool. Or, no, better yet, peel his cap, homie. Peel his cap. Hey. Don't miss. What is that? Peel his cap. Push his wig back. Push his wig back. You heard that?
Yeah.
Hey, push that fool's wig back, homie. Wait, what does that mean? Oh, scalp? Scalping? Scalping? You guys serious? Scalping? We're still using these same words, huh? It ain't changed. Okay, go ahead.
A lot of time, we only think about the things we can really identify as representing Native Americans, such as their fine artwork.
Fine artwork? Such as their fine artwork? Or fine artwork? Or the masters of graffiti? Okay, go ahead.
Yes, the people of the Southwest are known for their beautiful silver and turquoise jewelry. The people of the Northwest Coast are known for their fantastic wood carvings. The Plains Indians are well known for their beautiful beadwork. But other than art, the Native Americans have influenced many areas of American living. Some of these things were begun long before the arrival of the European settlers on North American land.
And we already know that. Because we have the artifacts. We have all the evidence. So yeah, this stuff was going on way before the Europeans came. The palefaces came. Because we know Europe is not... I mean, we ain't going to even get into all that, but we know who the original peoples are of all these lands, period. Where they're going, Europe, wherever you want to go. India, China, you have original people. so-called black people. These brown people. These dark brown from all different shades of brown. And some go into a closer, color when you start getting to those peoples of the certain areas of the Africas and stuff. West Africa and things there. One thing I've been learning and I've been seeing also that I've known, but it's just now starting to click on me. Like every time I'm looking, and I told my wife and my son and other family members, like look at like us in the Americas and look at most of your people in your family. Look at your pictures. Most of them gonna be like my complexion. Majority of the people in the Americas, it's just like what Yasharala and them was saying, what we all say, because we all Yasharala, most of us, But Shem is a different complexion. He's like my complexion. You're going to find majority of the people in the Americas, my complexion. Might be a little bit darker, might be a little bit lighter, but the majority, my complexion. And then you have other tribes, but the majority of the tribes is going to be my complexion, this brown copper. And then you're going to have your other tribes is going to be darker and everything, but I'm talking about majority of the continent. Just like when you look at majority of the continent, the so-called Africa, those people are dark, very dark. What they would call the Hamites or Camites or however you want to say it. Those are the darker. And then they have people that are my complexion, my son's complexion, just like you look at some of the Ethiopians. But if you look at, you can pull up two different kinds of Ethiopians. No matter where you're going throughout the so-called Africa, you can pull up, besides when you're in West Africa and all that, but I'm talking about when you're looking at the lighter ones. You can pull up the darker ones also. So we're dealing with, majority of them over there is darker because they're dealing with more of the sun. So they're putting out more melanin. And then you're dealing with us that have this color because we get every 4 seasons. We're blessed, We're in the land, the garden of eating. Eating is plenty, We're on this, the paradise. So go ahead.
Did you know that one of the most important aspects of Native American life is ecology? People of today have just begun to think about this. The Native Americans have always had a deep respect for the land. There was a love of every form of life. The Native Americans did not kill anything that they could not use. They never killed an animal or a fish for the sport of it. Fishing and hunting were a way to survive. The Native Americans...
Hold on. So we still don't. We don't just kill stuff for the sport. And we are the farmers and everything of this land. Another thing you should be asking, how the heck did they come here and they already know the land if they're brought from a whole nother place? Nope. We're all from here. And I don't mean everybody in general. But just like I said, we all come in these shades and don't ever hate on it. One thing I want to explain too, let's just say me, right? This is why I don't play the color game no more, and I'm not mad at anybody because I've done my research. Once you do your research, you can't be mad at nobody but yourselves. So I don't teach my son hate, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what's the first thing you look out for?
The color.
For the women and stuff like that. If you see somebody, what do you do at your bus stop? You protect who?
Oh, the girls.
So, with that being said is, what was to happen if I was to get with a Caucasian woman? The kid would be half Caucasian, right? And what if the kid was to, the influence of today, the witchcraft, get with another Caucasian? So-called what we think. And then it would just keep diluting, right? But, is it really diluting? Do you really know who's walking around you? Do you know that some of these people that don't look like you, but have similar features as you, might have the same ancestry as you? They're just one on another path for a minute. But that doesn't mean that it's any different. Right? So you guys can't get mixed up with the color game and the eyeballing game. Oh, I know who this is or this and that. Just like I showed you guys, like there's some Caucasians that really, like Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. Was it Steven Tyler Moore, or I can't remember his full name. But he found out his 4-time grandfather was a copper man. And he said, I always felt like when he did the song Run DMC, Walk This Way and stuff, he's like, I always felt this connection amongst these people. And some of the Caucasians that done grew up around y'all or in these hoods and stuff feel this connection. It ain't like they're trying to beat you. They have that in you. So you can't deny them what's in their DNA. You can't deny people what's in their DNA. They feel like that. That's how they just feel. Right? And nothing disqualifies you of any of our people. Nothing disqualifies you as being an American Indian. Especially when you come to this truth. You can't say, oh, because this person's living this way or doing this, he's not one of us no more. Still is. Until we get ourselves together, gather ourselves together, know who we are, and do what we need to be doing, then we can start getting back to our natural ways. Right now, we're in an unnatural rhythm, and unnatural ways. But then we go into, okay, they created the biscuit cutter, folding bed, coin changer, rotary engine, creating engines and stuff. So just like we were talking about, that's why you see all this stuff in Guatemala that's blowing their minds. They had roadways and car highways and stuff like that with the 66,000 plus pyramids that they found, and they're still finding more and more stuff. So who knows what the number's going to be by the time they get done. Okay, we had a radiation detector. We have the insect destroyer gun, baby buggy, the blood plasma, sugar refinement, horse riding saddle. And then we're going to get into, I want to read some of this too. I want you to read this. This is out of this book right here that we have found. Go ahead and read this.
These gentlemen are apparently unaware of 2 male Negro skeletons.
So this right here we're reading, this is out of this book called The Lost Colonies of Ancient America by Frank Joseph. And then they're tying in the Lost Colonies of Ancient America. This is what this chapter is about, the Americas, because it goes into Egypt. It ties in all this stuff with it. But go ahead.
Of 2 male Negro skeletons excavated from a grave in the U.S. Virgin Island by Smithsonian Institution archaeologists during February identified Negro skeletons in 3 pre-Columbian sites at Mexico's Tautico.
Yeah. Where? Talatilco, Cerro de las Mesas. So, and Monte Alban, as one of the former typologists of the 20th century, his racial classification of the remains was doubtless correct and has in any case never been challenged. Before any of these bones came to light, a French colleague told Barcelona's International Congress of American Anthropologists in 1964 that the only missing thing in the connection with the Negroid terracottas of ancient Americas as final proof of so-called African presence were Negroid skeletons. The terracottas to which he referred have been found by archaeologists in abundance across Middle America over the last 500 years. But few scholars have done more to document this expansive collection than Dr. Alexander von Wethenow, professor of art history at Berlin University. Typical of the numerous examples he published in his thoroughly researched Unexpected Face in Ancient America is the baked clay representation of evidently Negro head of a young man unearthed during a pre-classic dig at Tabasco, Mexico, with the high date of 250 AD and a pair of much older 600 BC to 400 BC terracotta heads of so-called black men from Olmec, Veracruz, are displayed at the Museo de Antropología de Jalapa. The smaller specimen is positively identified as a so-called West African by facial scarification patterns depicted across cheeks and nose. How does that prove that? He could have been cut. There's all kind of things going on. Wars, Indian wars, and they talking about that. You guys know how, what do they say? Dodge the hijack? Dodge it. But, as we see, what they're talking about is more evidence. Right? These are reconstructed faces of some of the bones that they found. Central and South America. Right? And all over the Americas. So, then we're going to go to another head of about 12 inches not only possesses Negroid features,
but the hair design is authentically West African, so-called West African.
And we know that's not true. You guys know we're the ancient ones, right? Dodge the hijack. Come on.
This terracotta is on display at the National Museum of Mexico, together with the earplugs or enlarged earrings, a common feature throughout the so-called West Africa. Portrayals of black Africans are not only found on pre-Columbian terracottas,
so-called black Africans, because we know they're not that.
Sir John Eric Sidney Thompson, one of the foremost mid-20th century anthropologists, scholars, statistically dated a Maya pottery vessel from Chima, Guatemala in southern Payton to Circe, 800 AD during the late Classic period, and was struck not only by the so-called black skin color of the vast painting, but also by the Negro facial features and the beard of one of the depicted men. Thompson considered that the figure represented traveling traders. William P. Lucy writes in Ancient American.
Lutz continues. He stated that the god of the merchants was Ekchua, and that in modern Yucatec Mayan, Ek, is the word for what?
Black.
Ekchua is the word for
God of chocolate.
Ekchua is the word for Ek. Oh, okay, Ekchua in the modern Yucatan Mayan, Ek is the word for black, so-called black. Ek is the word for black, so-called black. Ek is the word for black. Thompson said Ekchua was also the god of chocolate and suggests that this is because cocoa beans, same color as you guys, were the universal currency of the Maya. The Mayates. These derogatory words they call you. The Mayas. The Mayates. Get it? You guys put it together? And Negro is a bad word. I've been knowing this. And a lot of Hispanics didn't like to call us that word. They used to use Morenos first. And as you guys drifted into this sleep spell, everybody else has. It's not their fault. They knew it was a derogatory word. You can go and look it up. It's a derogatory word, negro. But whose fault is it? It's nobody's fault but ours. Until you straighten everything out, everybody else is blinded too. So they don't know what to call you. I ran across people and showed them this. Caucasians. We told you guys before in one of the videos. Caucasian guy with a Jamaica girl. Jamaica. copper color girl. I said, what do you call her? They were dating. What do you call her? What is her complexion? He said black. I said, but here's a black phone. I set it next to her skin. He said, well, really, she's brown. And we went around and I showed her some knowledge, told her, look up Dark Man X, and see his videos. This was years ago. But the Caucasian brother didn't know. He was like, it's kind of weird because if I start calling you guys brown, some people might find it offensive. Really, people don't know what to call us because we don't know what to call ourselves. Us, the awakened ones, do. We know what tribe and everything we belong to. But some of the ones that sleep, some of them are very, it's a touchy subject with them. With other people. So if a Caucasian says think or calls them, you're really brown, they might, fool, I'm black, what you mean? Get to snap and everything, so they're scared. They don't know what to do. They're not trying to ruffle the American Indians, so-called African Americans' feathers. Because they know y'all will trip, snap, and get tearing up some stuff. Along tearing up them. So they don't know which way to go with y'all. And y'all don't know which way to go. So it's us and brothers like Cootie Mayo, Wanagi, and everybody trying to bring y'all to the truth. And the sisters trying to bring y'all to the truth. But it's up to y'all to accept the truth. So we can move forward.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to continue to move forward. Y'all just get left behind. And then y'all keep going through all that while we be over here living it up, doing powwows, kicking it, and all that, while y'all over there getting knocked off still. And we told y'all keep using them words, them bywords. Y'all keep talking about them black power and this and that, and you still keep getting knocked off, left and right. So it's up to y'all. So we got all these inventions, man. They got the pencil sharpener, trolley power system, street sweeper truck, the strong box, whatever that is. I don't know what that is. Toolbox, common dustpan, automatic elevator door, first clothes dryer, fire escape ladder, Jenny coupler for train cars, carbon filament for the light bulb. For my family. They're telling you that the Native Americans' contributions, and then you go and read into the American Indian, so-called African American contributions, inventions that have changed the world. You still can't put it together? You still can't see it's not the Native Americans? You can't see that? They haven't built or brought anything? You still can't see you're the foundation of everything? You like the dang rocks that we were showing. And then we get to talking about all this other stuff, right? Flying and all this, and we know we created all this, right? So the Caucasians were flying over here, right? The Wright brothers. They didn't fly over in Africa or anywhere. None of this stuff was brought to them. It's when they came over here, all the greatness started happening, right? They were at the gold mine. This is the money that keeps giving, is our culture. It's not about the jewelry and all that. That's part of it. But the culture is the thing that's rich. What's in our mind and wisdom and how they tell us that we dumb, but we not, because we supplied the world with everything. And then you look at this. All this stuff they were doing were flying. They don't have this stuff over in Egypt. They don't have the Nazca lines or none of that stuff over in Egypt. So all this stuff is right here. You're here where all the greatness is. Everything. Don't forget, I ain't forgot either about Moses. I'm going to go into him. I already got the stuff laid out. And you guys got to understand, man, we can't express this enough. The first American royal baby, right? Yeah, right. We've been royalty. We've been royalty. It's in our DNA. Why didn't he go, like I keep asking y'all, and get a wife from so-called Africa? West Africa. Egypt, where you guys claim everything's great. No, everything's great here in Americas. And they keep showing it all the time. What the heck he gonna come here and get a mulatto wife for? When all you guys tell us is you so-called Pan-Africans and all that, we all mixed up with garbage, this and that. All the greatness is over there in Africa. and all this garbage. No, all the greatness is here. In our DNA, in our soil, in our caves, in our monuments, architect, everything. We built up everything. The White House, all that stuff. All our greatness is here.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all trying to take everything that we done and give it to somebody else and have us on the low and got us, what the dude got so brittle, he tried to get amped up. The Nigerian guy at my job, and I had to, man, it's, look, dude got to talking about calling the police on me and everything. Talking about he feel threatened. This is stuff you dummies have done. Trying to put us at the lower pedestal and got them coming over like they're the gods and they created us. Nah, y'all got a little bit of our DNA running through you. From all the times we've been going over there, from colonizing over there, all the times we've been going over there. All before all this other stuff. Right? The greatness is here in our DNA. We the ancient ones. Don't nobody move like us. Y'all better wise up. Find out who your tribe is, tribe up, and then we can rise up.
Mm-hmm.
And on that note, what you want to say?
Do your research and...
What is this?
A picture of Guatemala's Chima pottery illustration photo, courtesy of ancient Americans.
You guys stop going for the okie doke and being bamboozled. And on that note, we're going to say, feathers up.
Mm-hmm.
Peace and power to all people.
Yup.
All my brothers and sisters, from the lightest to the darkest to the so-called whitest. May y'all continue to do your research. And may you Caucasians and everybody else that's involved in the struggle, may y'all keep on pushing. We'll find out later on, because we know once we get in power and everything, who's really with us. And some of the people that look like us is really against us. And they're really here to cause confusion and separation. So all like-minded, we need to gather together. All us that know the truth and looking for the truth, is put our minds together and let's do what we're supposed to do. And let's overturn this system.
Mm-hmm.
Let's flip it on its head. And let's get back to our greatness and start doing everything natural. You know, like everything runs off the light. You know, they got houses that run off solar lights and stuff like that. Not the energy sucking stuff we're going through. Peace.
Peace.
And power.
Yup.